So what is left for us to do as far as your learner's permit?
A year ago, John Wilkins wasn't sure if he would ever get to teach his son to drive a real car.
I really want to learn.
Nick, who's 15, has had leukemia since he was 4 years old. He tried chemotherapy and a bone marrow transplant from his sister. Both failed.
There was a moment there where I thought that was it. He probably wouldn't live much longer.
Nick's last hope was an experimental treatment, a clinical trial at the University of Pennsylvania.
When they start talking about doing clinical trials as the alternative, that's when you're really throwing Hail Marys.
How did it feel as a mom to know this is it?
Just uncertainty, a lot of uncertainty. Just not knowing what was going to happen. It was hard.
One day we're in his room and I just wanted him to understand where we're at, that, this was probably the last treatment.
Were you in effect telling him that if this treatment didn't work,
He could die.
In the treatment, Nick's doctors tweaked his immune system to make his own body rid itself of cancer. It's a groundbreaking approach that's captured the attention of cancer doctors, but there were no promises. Nick received the personalized cell therapy in May. For a month, John and Lisa watched over their son.
do you remember that moment where they said, hey, this appears to be working?
They came back and said, we don't see any leukemia cells. And so that was the point of, I think this is working. I think that, we're definitely headed down the right path.
Exactly how the treatment works is complicated, but Nick's pretty good at explaining it, actually.
They took out T cells out of my body and then they engineered them to kind of track down the cancer cells and kill them off.
Did they get them?
I hope so. I'm feeling good now, so I think they did pretty well.
Watch as this gray cancer-killing cell on the left attacks the green cancer cell, which gets smaller and eventually dies. Doctors tried this in 59 patients. 25 are now cancer-free.
Our hopes are that, eventually he will be cured, that, he can kind of put aside this and just kind of start moving forward.
I just want him to be able to enjoy a normal kid's life.
His biggest thing right now is he is looking forward to getting his learner's permit.
And soon, instead of playing with toy cars, John will get the chance to teach his son how to drive a real one.
You went from having cancer to now they can't even find it. How does that feel?
Really great.
Elizabeth Cohen, CNN, Ashburn, Virginia.